It's really a great honor for me to have the pleasure of addressing the Academy today. I wish to begin by once again congratulating the Academy on the excellent school-leaving results that were remarked upon at the recent awards function that we all attended in Springs. Students of this Academy are fortunate in that they have dedicated teachers who provide support to them all for their success. Added to this wonderful privilege is the excellent teaching of Islamic values and principles that you are immersed in on a daily basis. You are most fortunate of all young people. The Quran, our guide, allows the Almighty to address us all directly and reminds us of our duties to Allah and our responsibility to ourselves and to our fellow humanity. The teaching in the Quran on our innate and equal humanity should create a very significant and advantageous human being of all Muslims in our country and the entire Ummah. We are unusual in being described in this fashion in our faith. You, gathered here, have the possibility of being among the most advanced and progressive in human affairs in our country. Because in our faith, we are taught about the equality of humanity, we are taught about justice. This means as Muslims, we should be among the best on issues of equality, on issues of humanity, on issues of justice. Because our faith is not merely for us to recall it, it is for us to practice it. Former Muslim leaders of our struggle for freedom illustrated this understanding of our faith, this oneness of humanity. Leaders such as Dr. Yusuf Dadu, Imam Harun, Mam Amina Kachalia, Mam Sisi Gul, Professor Fatima Mia, and many others who rejected apartheid racial oppression and participated actively in securing freedom for all South Africans. There are some in life who believe that if I am faithful, I do not need to act socially. These leaders showed that faith must lead to action. You can make similar and yet different contributions through your service in life. I make this assertion for a number of reasons as an offer and challenge to you to play a role in South Africa, in Africa, and in the world. First, I make the assertion that you can contribute drawing on the fact that you do know from what you are taught at the school, and I hope this history is taught. You are taught that we emerged as a people and a country from one of the most severe forms of human oppression when we brought an end to apartheid through the negotiated settlement of 1994. When we held the election in 1994, this was merely a beginning of the work that we as South Africans needed to do to undertake the fundamental alteration of our society. So when the adults voted in April 1994, they were giving an undertaking that they are ready to participate in effective and fundamental transformation of our country from its racist past to a future in which all are included. I stress the notion that when we voted we were beginning, because it is critical that we accept the idea that we all have roles to play in changing our society and our human condition. Some people believe that if it is 30 years of freedom, all should have changed. But it is not possible to make the transitions we need in such a short space of time. And so we need to continue working at this task of transformation. We know that our racist past segmented our communities and our society and planted seeds of inequality in all communities. All of us were made to feel we are different from each other, and that the darker the person is, the less equal they are to us. We have to unlearn that teaching. Islam requires us to reject racism and to reject all forms of discrimination and to strive to create a society in which we respect and serve all humanity. I've tried through my life to read all the great books, and I have found that the Quran is one of the books that teaches us that we must respect all religions. We don't insult other religions. This is unusual. And so we stand in society, I believe, as a very important instrument of changing our country and playing a positive role in our society. I believe accepting that we must act outside of our small circle and community is important for our interactions with our broader society and also for our interactions with Muslims from different communities and countries. As South Africa, due to our history of apartheid, we have been somewhat insulated from contact with the broader Ummah, and we now need to embrace all our community and understand how we can work together to effect changes in our society and in the world. Second reason for saying you can make a contribution is that if one studies the nature of the struggle that was led by South Africa's liberation movements, one would note that that struggle had a very strong international solidarity character. Now, I left teaching many years ago, and sometimes I think when I write, I assume we're all at the same level. So I often ask those that I have the privilege of speaking to that I hope you have a notebook and you write down some of the key words that I utilize. So I would love you to note as a key word international solidarity and to study its meaning in the liberation struggle. And indeed to study what it might mean as we reflect on our contribution to the just cause for freedom of the people of Palestine. As South Africans in the struggle, we persuaded the world that apartheid was a crime against humanity. That phrase entered the United Nations for the first time because of us, those who were struggling for freedom for South Africa. And we persuaded the world that it had a moral duty to join us in our struggle, either on the ground in South Africa or to play a role internationally. The world accepted our call for global solidarity, and through this acceptance, created a foundation for our strong attachment to human rights and to the struggle of the oppressed people of Palestine. I'm giving you this background because if someone asked you one day, as may happen, why are you as South Africans so concerned about the brothers and sisters in Palestine? You will be able to explain this is an attachment which comes, yes, from our faith, but it comes from our love for human rights. It comes from our belief that human rights belong to all people, and that wherever there is oppression, we as South Africans will be present. It is for this reason that your country, South Africa, has led the way in getting international action on the genocide being perpetrated against the people of Gaza and those in the occupied Palestinian territories. This commitment of South Africa to human rights for all people and the active support for anti-colonial campaigns is a characteristic of our country that you, as young people, must get to know very firmly and must strive to maintain. I will definitely come and haunt you if I ever find you supporting an oppressor when you are leaders. You must always maintain your hatred and dislike of oppression and your commitment to human rights. I believe that this characterization defines South Africans as a very special people and reflects one of the most important values of our faith of Islam. Third reason that commits you to contribute is, as you surely know, democratic South Africa is confronted by immense challenges that you can play a role in addressing. Many of our young people in our country do not have the wonderful quality education opportunities you have here at the Academy. While we have created positive policies in our country that have allowed millions of young people to attain basic education, the quality and skill components require substantial support and redress. In the past, I have encouraged well-designed twinning programs between schools that have good quality and those that seek to improve their performance. Increased efforts need to be directed at enhancing quality, I believe, through collaboration and partnerships. Fourth, and linked to that agenda of quality education, we have the task of increasing excellence in artisanal skills and improved achievement in science, innovation, and mathematics. While there has been welcome expansion in higher education access in our country, too many of our students still register in disciplines that do not improve our scarce skills statistics. The government has recently announced a R1 trillion plan for infrastructure development in our country. Skilled engineers, plumbers, carpenters, bricklayers, and electricians are needed for implementation of this plan. And our colleges and universities have to produce more of these skills. Now, our problem is that some of our families believe vocational and technical education is low status education. But these are the skills that our country needs, and we need to pay attention to this mandate. Fifth reason we need you is that you would have noted recently that the administration of the United States of America intends to introduce a range of protectionist trade measures that will impact negatively on our international trade as South Africa and other African countries. Increased manufacturing and innovation capacity is the only way in which we might withstand the intended hostile efforts of America. Young South Africans now face the exciting opportunities of innovation. You are going to have to become innovators to be world competitive. You may become and should be the developers of a new HIV vaccine, new drugs against viruses, new treatments against cancer, as is being done by young women at Rhodes University, new vaccines against TB. We haven't developed a new one since the end of the Second World War, so there's work to be done. New vaccines and treatments on malaria. We also need innovation in the technology sector, as well as in high-value manufactured goods. These are all opportunities that young people with access to quality education should be looking to and taking up in order to ensure our progress and our ability to withstand hostility from countries of the West that seek to challenge our values by becoming protectionist and preventing us from growing our economy. Sixth reason, as South Africa, despite our commitment to human rights, as a government and a people, we are new practitioners of human rights, and we require skillful human rights lawyers and founders of human rights-focused civil society organizations. Human rights have a wide range of focus areas. If you've read the Bill of Rights, you would have seen that we have rights to culture, rights to language, and alhamdulillah, rights to freedom of religion. We have workers' rights, and we have rights to health. All of these offer areas of specialization that human rights lawyers can take up, and they all require your interest and action. Seventh important reason for your contributions is that in the Quran, we are all granted rights, and our Quran and our religion offers protection to the most vulnerable. This means that according to our faith, girls and women must be treated with full enjoyment of the rights and privileges set out in our faith. It is haram to deny a woman her inheritance. Right? Isn't it so? It is stipulated in the Quran that all have a right to inheritance. It's not for boys, it's not for men only, it's all of us. And if we do not understand that, we allow ourselves to be abused. And those men in our families who deny their mothers and sisters their right to inheritance, they are breaching our faith. And this is something we must give attention to. One of the things we should also play a role in is we must take up the duty to correct misinterpretation of the Muslim faith. And we should lead on women's advancement through example as Muslims. We are defined by the West and many others as a religion that denies women equality, that denies them respect. And it is totally a lie about our religion. And we need to challenge this misrepresentation and defend our faith. Islamophobia is based on a number of lies about Islam. And it is our duty to ensure that our faith is understood and that we can present it in the clearest terms to the entire world community. I am really impressed at the achievements of this academy in academic terms and in the academic achievements of both the male students as well as the female students. And I believe through these achievements, the Academy is actively promoting the equality I call for. I'm hopeful that this Academy will utilize its expertise to assist other schools to act in a similar manner. I wish to conclude by saying that as Muslims, our obligation goes beyond our individual action and requires us to take an interest in the social condition of others. So it is important that even here in our school, we treat support staff with respect, and that at home, our families treat those who work for us fairly and humanely. If you see a worker at home being abused, even if it is a senior member of the family, try to find a way of saying, that is not how we behave in Islam. We do not keep slaves. We do not treat people as slaves. And therefore we cannot treat a person who works for us as though they are less than human. We must be among those who show the best values as Muslims. I believe, having embraced Islam many years ago, that it is a rigorous faith. It is rigorous to be a Muslim. The joy, however, is that if we try to exercise our faith to our best ability, we will surely contribute to a better South Africa, a better Africa, and a better world. And this is the message that I leave with you today. So having said that, I promised Maulana that I would not speak for too long, and I hope my message resonates with the teachings that you are receiving here at the school. And I say to you all, Jazakallah khair for listening to me. I wish you well in all your endeavors, and I thank you most sincerely for allowing me the privilege of speaking to you today. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.